update. Okay, I have Mr. Smith here this evening that will be helping me, as well as Mr. Midkiff. We attended a meeting at Hart's Pre-K 8, November the 5th. Is that correct? It's on a Monday evening.
Last month.
Okay, so it was November the 5th, right? Okay.
Night before the night.
Uh,
It was the fifth.
Mr. Ferguson was also present at the meeting, and I have a copy of the list of items that we did go over, and each of you. I would like to say I felt that it was a very productive meeting. All of the general contractor, as well as the other contractors that worked on the building were present, with the exception of maybe one.
This is the very same thing they handed out the last week.
So all were present but one.
All, I think,
I think they were all there. There was a guy, you talking about the plumbing contractor?
no, talking about electronic specialty.
Oh, Electronic Specialties, they're a subcontractor to the electrical. So that's, all the prime contract holders.
Were there, okay. I found out a lot of things. Hopefully I can remember them all, but that's why the gentlemen are here to help
Got
me.
lots of notes.
The very first one, the phone system, that was stated that it was partially installed, still not operating as it should. Sure, I have one.
We get
You can,
Oh,
thank you,
okay.
yeah,
Make sure I make it.
thank you.
Some rooms still do not have phones. Many rooms with phones do not work. Okay, what we found out is that that was not in the design. It was designed for what is called an IP phone system, which Armstrong is responsible for going in and placing switches. Is that what we discussed today, Dana?
The switches may be an issue with Armstrong, but it was definitely an issue with the camera system. The switches that we had installed from the old schools are, according to Jordan Smith, are not adequate. We need at least 2 megs of bandwidth. And
The switches that we put in were only
1 meg.
designed for wireless access. It was not designed for a phone system and,
Or the cameras.
or the cameras. But we need Armstrong to go in and actually basically hook up what's there, or tell us if there are other switches that are necessary.
Yes.
So on that one there, the design was done properly, no contractor was negligent, it has to.
Right.
They were basically waiting for Armstrong to do something before they could finish on the campus, I think. That phone system, IP phone system, which is basically a computer-based phone system. There's no wiring for it, that's why they chose the IP.
And this was done early in the project. This decision was made early in the project for this to occur. We did not. We were not aware of this.
And we're to pay Armstrong for doing this? Or did part of
That was a separate contract with Armstrong. I think it was $27,000.
Now, was that, you
For the
say
phone
it
system.
was a separate contract?
It was a separate contract. If the SBA agreed.
The SBA entered into with Armstrong? SBA?
Do what now?
The SBA entered into a contract with Armstrong to do this?
We did, and they're just reimbursing, they're gonna pay the bill.
They are.
Yes.
I was thinking they were responsible.
No, they assured me just recently that they were gonna pay that invoice for the phone system.
And has this work been scheduled to be done?
They're currently doing it.
Oh, they're doing it now?
Item 2, the intercom system is inconsistent and unreliable. We need another speaker in the gym as they cannot hear any announcement. If the power goes off, the intercom goes crazy. I understand that from Ms. Dingus today that electronic specialty has been there since their meeting, and they are looking at what they need to do in order to place another intercom. It was designed for only one. That was what was in the original design. So they have since found that because of the petition that is pulled down, and they have 2 classes going on in there at the same time, that if an announcement is made, they can only hear it on one side of the petition. That's why they now know they need another intercom on the other side. And that contractor has been there, she said, to check on how to install it, where to install it.
Is this an add-on that we've chosen to do, or the second speaker?
That was one of the things Mike Hall and I talked about picking up with contingency.
Yes.
The other issue there was the off circuit boards that caused the power outage, and they electronic specialty installed a UPS or uninterrupted power supply system to that system, which is supposed to fix that issue of power loss. Or interrupted power.
And they did that since we talked.
It's back in fact.
So on this, for me, I think I should understand, there isn't any additional cost
From you all.
from us for that, and it's going to be rectified by
It's
adding
in the
this
process
other
of being rectified now, actually.
Right. Ms. Stingus said today that they have been there, and actually they think they have that situation taken care of. Oh, the door phones, this is one. Door phones, number 3, to gain admittance to the school. One doesn't work at all. If it is on, it shorts out. The other 2, they all are inconsistent. Sometimes they work and other times they don't. If the power goes off and comes back on, none of them will open the doors. Buttons to open the internal doors need to be relocated so the secretaries do not have to leave their desks every time the doorbell rings. That's the one she told me today. They have been there, and they think that is,
They fixed it.
yes.
It was a voltage drop, that there was a line that was too long, so there was a voltage drop, loss of power, and you moved something. Two worked on it. Mason Beer.
Mason Berry. Number 4, the light in the hallway beeped for days. No longer beeps, but the light doesn't work. She put tape on it to keep it from beeping. Well, we found out during the discussion that beeping light was telling her that there was something that needed attention.
Like a
So she- She did. But they said that it would be an easy fix, but they checked on it and they have to order a part. Do you know anything else other than that, Dave?
The last email we had was that it's ordered to replace the emergency ballast, that's what they need here. And they will replace it during the trip to repair the outdoor lights. They come to repair the outdoor lights, they'll fix those.
Okay. Okay.
That was contract.
Jordan Smith.
Okay, number 5, no security in the office at all, needs something to block access through the window. What she was talking about is after school, when there are students there in the gym practicing, and once practice is over, they need to call home, and they had been coming into the little office area, and where the open window, reception window, the kids were trying to crawl through there to get to the telephone.
They actually jumped to the desk and climbed over the window. Some teachers do it. If they leave their keys out, teachers have to
Secretary,
lose their keys.
Cross through the opening.
Cross through the opening. That's what that's about. So I think they asked for a window. Then the question came up, what do we do if we lose our keys and there's a window there? We can't get back in there. So I don't know where that got left. Have you heard anything what they want? I think Mike Hall would put a window in there if that's what he wanted. I think he wants it resolved from the law.
Well, I think, did you guys go look at that, Dana, and you were talking about what would the fire marshal say, or,
Oh, he won't have a problem with the window.
I think
okay.
as long as it's safety glass.
Yeah,
I
it
think
has,
you'd be
well,
okay.
yeah, it has to be similar glasses we have around the floor. He won't have a problem with the window.
No, I don't think he will either.
But we're kind of wondering why students would be going in there and trying to get through to use the phone. Aren't there phones in the other parts of the building? You know, that they could be, in the PE offices, I think there's a phone in each one.
They
I
have
don't
phones,
know.
I think if they get those IP phones set up, there should be phones in every classroom. I don't know why they.
Would crawl through that window.
You can plug one in anywhere there's an internet drop, you could plug one in anywhere.
There's internet drops in the gym, I think.
So, they could put a phone.
That's what they do.
We'll just need to.
Phone for children, you just call it. I'm sure they're calling their parents to pick them up.
Uh-huh.
We'll let you all resolve that.
Okay. On 6, only 7 cameras in the entire school work out of approximately 45 cameras. The ones that do work jump around and have time gaps where nothing is recorded. Now, I think Mason and Berry, an electronic specialty, they talked about at the end of the project,
That's where Dana's talking about the switch.
yes. I think they said it was not uncommon for taking, when you take the switches out of the 2 existing schools, once that school is open and you bring those into the new school, then the company has to come back and do something else, hook something else up once the switches are in. Can you help me out there, Dana?
Well, that's
Jeff?
where I think we're gonna, if the manufacturer is recommending a minimum of 2 gig, I wish I had my glasses. 2 gigs of bandwidth. And that's what Danny was trying to get a price estimate on today. I think it's gonna be around $5,000 or $6,000. The SBA,
We're
I
waiting
think
on
you'll
White
pick that
Ball.
up.
I think he'll probably come through, but I'm still waiting on a decision for that. Because it's clearly just a function of that switch not having enough bandwidth. I don't understand all the bandwidth issues, but what the manufacturer says, the switch is large enough, doesn't have enough bandwidth to operate.
Well, that's what Danny was trying to explain to me. He said that whatever they've got in the email to, it says that is needed, he said, we don't even have anything that size in the county, even at high school, with that number of cameras that we have over there. So he was trying to get some clarification. He was trying to make contact.
He probably needs to call Mason Berry. That's
Okay, Mason and Berry, not Travis.
not Travis, I call Mason.
Okay.
That's who put the
So on this one here, we're hoping that it'll be resolved in the SBA funding.
As part of it, because we used some of the stuff out of the old school,
Yes.
well, someone should have known that when it was put in. See, that's what I'm getting at.
Well, it's uncommon, what that, Danny, it's not uncommon, that's what normally
Yeah, but
occurs.
someone should know it when they took it out of the old building,
That it would-
that they're going to do something different when they put it in the new building. It's not, I mean, if they say it happens all the time, somebody knows it.
Well, I'm not, according to Danny, I'm not sure he did, that he thought those switches that he brought in were, going to be only used for, the wireless access for the computers and not be used for cameras. You know,
Or the phones. We
Or the
didn't really
phones.
know at the time we put those in
Right.
there that the phone system was rolling. We had a price to actually run wiring for a phone system. We just thought the aesthetics of having wires running down new walls and things like that, that at the time, that it was just as cheap to get the IP phones. So some of these things were added, and we didn't know that they were going to be added when we moved those switches from the old schools. And that they wouldn't be adequate.
because they were new switches, he had
Yeah,
just
they
bought
were
them
good.
the year before and put in those two, knowing that he would be taking those out and putting them in this new building. But he didn't know that they were going to be trying to run the phones and the cameras off of it. Because they were not designed for that, he said. They were designed only for wireless access. 7, heat is inconsistent. Some rooms are hot, some rooms are cold, varies from room to room. What was that discussion?
They think at the end of the meeting, when we walked around, we were told that the problem seemed to have already been resolved with placing Barricade on site. And the contractor requested that the school give them specific names of the rooms that the problem resurfaced so they can do it over the internet.
Yes, because was that, and it was only on the back side of the building.
Correct.
The classroom was on.
Kindergarten classroom.
Yes. And something about valves not opening, they had corrected that. Some kind of reheat valves. I don't know what that is, but that's what I wrote down.
Sounds good.
Heat and valve going over.
Oh, okay. I was trying to make good notes. 8, water still comes under the doors on the back of the building. Now, Ms. Dingus told me today that she had had no complaints from the classroom teachers. It was still only the cafeteria.
Did they do the same thing at the cafeteria as they did in the classroom?
Yes. When you say what did they do?
They added a piece to the threshold to seal that door at the threshold a little bit better. The caulking appeared to be adequate under the threshold, so it's not coming under the threshold. We don't really know how it's getting in, so until I actually see it rain. I mean, have you seen it come in lately? Did it come in this week?
No, I've not seen it since they put the new thresholds in myself.
Okay.
I haven't seen it. And and even when I did see it, I was there after the rain, not during, to actually watch it, to see if it was going under the threshold or over the threshold. It was too late when I got there to really see it. But I did pour water on the sidewalk. It's sloped away from the building. It's not a sidewalk slope issue.
She did say that what was coming in wasn't as much as it had at the cafeteria. But no complaints, she had no complaints from classroom teachers.
Is it maybe just leaking during snow or is it raining?
No, it was during a hard rain, and I think maybe a wind blown rain maybe.
They said
Wind may have something to do with it.
blowing against the backside of the building.
There's no awnings or anything over there.
I don't know if it's blowing that hard at the bottom. I don't know if it's on. I don't know.
No, it's all right. It's good.
Okay, number 9. Outside lights are not working. Now, they had been working, they worked initially, and there's a controller that was out. And they were going to add a separate,
Mason and Berry, since our visit, Mason and Berry located the bad contactor in the system and have ordered a replacement. Mason and Berry will also be adding additional power supply to reduce the workload of existing power supplies for those contactors, so they won't run up any contactors. And as soon as the parts come in, they'll work.
and the next one, noise level is unbearable, especially on the wing with the second floor. Classes are constantly being interrupted and disturbed. And we looked at the blueprint.
We're talking about the sound flashing,
Yes.
first, second, or
Uh-huh.
the ductwork.
Is it that where the ductwork was, or is that another one?
I think
They were separate.
Okay,
Yeah, they were
okay.
two separate issues.
Oh, is this the movement of the chairs?
We
Yes.
went down there, we had people go upstairs, and since Dan and I talked, Dan bought little pads, we talked about the type of sound transmittance that it was, and put pads on the chairs, and they said it seemed to help quite a bit. I was downstairs, and some people go upstairs to try to make noise, and I eventually heard them. When I went up there, and wanted to see what they had to do to make the noise. They had to do quite a bit, banging chairs around to make a lot of noise so you could hear it. And we talked to one of the teachers. She said as soon as they put the pads on the chairs, nobody really complained a lot about it.
Okay.
So I don't, they have to bang those chairs around quite a bit to make enough noise downstairs. The floor system is exactly the same at every school that we've ever been in. It's the same as Lincoln County High School. Dana checked the drawings and how the floors were constructed there on the second floor. It's the same like floor system. It's just how they do those chairs for some reason on the second floor. I'm not sure what they're doing.
But it has cut down since the padding.
It's a transmittance noise. It's not just a sound traveling like you're speaking. It's, you would have to fix the problem where there's no noise at all. You probably have to increase the floor slab about twice. Instead of 3-inch slab, you have to at least have 6 and actually isolate the floor from the walls. So the noise, the vibration would transmit to the room